Liberty Nation. Truth is making a comeback.
Hi, this is Tim Donner with LNTV, joined by Graham Noble to discuss the political football known as DACA. The left was desperate to get a DACA fix, Graham, and Trump was willing. Now the left has moved on from DACA, it seems, and Trump has said that they've abandoned the Dreamers. Do they? Which side is telling the truth here?
Yeah, well, Tim, I'm not really sure that the Democrats ever really wanted, were ever really desperate to fix the DACA issue. And I think fix that they were willing to accept was, well, the thing they always campaigned for, or the thing they always, what the protesters out there were asking for, which is a so-called clean DACA bill. In other words, they didn't want to agree to any other immigration reforms, any additional border security. They simply wanted to have a bill that gave permanent status to the DACA recipients, and I don't think they were ever willing really to settle for anything other than that.
Well, it seems that both sides, perhaps, Graham, are preferring to have this issue of DACA going into the November elections. The Democrats want to say that Republicans are insensitive and racist, and Republicans want to say that Democrats just want all manner of illegal immigrants flooding over the border. Do you see, they can't both be right. I mean, this issue heads one way or the other. Which side do you think, if they are in fact seeing this as an issue they want to run on in November, which side is likely to have the advantage?
Well, I think generally, you know, the polls, for what polls are worth, always suggest that the majority of Americans want secure borders and want the immigration laws to be enforced. Of the DACA recipients is maybe something different. I believe that there's an argument that a lot of Americans, including a lot of Republican voters, are actually willing to accept some kind of deal for the DACA people. But, you know, it would have to be like a one-off thing. It would have to be like, we're never going to do this again. We're not going to keep having endless new dreamers arrive in the country and then eventually be given amnesty. I think the Democrats really needs the issue of immigration because it's it's their MO to always designate one particular demographic as victims and then be able to say the Republicans hate you and we're trying to look after you. And you know, of course illegal immigrants are the perennial victims. So, you know, I don't think the Democrats would ever want to completely resolve all of our immigration issues because they need that. As for the Republicans, I don't know. I think the Republicans would be not wise to let this issue linger because I think the vast majority of the Republican voting base wants to see some comprehensive and permanent fixes to the immigration system, and they want border security. I think you could argue that some Republican voters, again, are okay with maybe giving the Dreamers, legal status here. But, because it comes down to that the one phrase everyone always likes to repeat over and over again, they're here through no fault of their own. It's kind of true. I mean, they are. But I think the Republican base wants this issue. So so the Democrats are always going to use the immigration issue. The Republicans, I think, would be wise to, I don't know, if they could, come up with some kind of long-term fixes.
Now, you said earlier that both the sides on this want the issue, and that the left doesn't want to give anything to Trump in return for a DACA fix. Do you think they're just stalling on what they know is an inevitable capitulation to Trump with the issues that matter to him, such as the diversity lottery and chain migration, and of course border security, including the wall? Or does the left actually think they can run out the clock and get just a DACA fix all by itself? They really believe they can get that without giving anything in return?
That's a tough one. I think that the Democrats, I think probably a lot of them do. I think probably a lot of them think they can actually just kind of run out the clock on this, and that eventually that Trump and the Republicans will cave and say, okay, let's just fix the DACA thing. I think they're wrong, though. I don't think Trump is ever going to do that. And I think eventually he is going to get the immigration reforms and the border security that he wants. And then I think the Democrats, as usual, will resort to fighting it through the courts and having, federal judges and appeals courts hold up these measures. I think that's eventually what's going to happen.
Thank you, Graham.
You're welcome, Tim.
That's Graham Noble, national political correspondent for LibertyNation.com. I'm Tim Donner, and this is LNTV.
Liberty Nation. News and commentary, minus the propaganda. LibertyNation.com.